Hello and welcome to Off the Bench, an hour show, so it's jam-packed and it's all brought to you by our great mates at GRV, so make sure you get your tab bets on for this Saturday night Shepparton Cup with our fastest greyhounds going around, and of course the AFL preliminary final on the giant screens. Got a big show coming up later on. Ros Lanigan will join us with a wrap of some grand final results from last weekend and then a preview for some more big grand finals to be played across country Victoria later this weekend, I should say. We have a special guest from the successful Cora Football Club and another great feature story, and we have this man who won the Cats Best and Fairest, a little bit nervous with regards to what may or may not happen. Liam Pickering, great to have your company again on a Friday night.
Great to be here, Wayne. I've had a very enjoyable week. Like you, took the kids to the show, so great to be here. And finals are around us. I'm looking forward to a massive weekend of country footy, and looking forward to going through. And we've got plenty of special guests tonight as well.
We do. 42 years in the making, but Bacchus Marsh won their first flag in 42 years on the weekend. It was a great story, and we have two very special guests joining us on the program with a very shiny cup, and that is Daniel Velden and the former Kangaroo, Cam Richardson. Thanks very much for joining us, guys. Congratulations.
All right, mate. Thank you, Vic.
42 years. It's been a long time coming.
It certainly has. Yeah, we've definitely wanted to win this, and it's just been a massive thing for the club and the whole community, to be honest.
Absolutely. How's the week been? Obviously, Cam, you look a little bit dusty, I must say. It's been a fairly good game for you, I would have thought.
If you ask Velds, I always look like this. But,
it's true.
No, it's leading up to the week was a bit stressful too. Like getting older and wanting to get a premiership, I was getting a bit nervous, and that took it out of me. And then, you get the win and have a big couple nights on the drink, and I'm sure it was worth it. I didn't feel like it at work yesterday.
Well, let's have a look at the final moments of this game, Swatter, because it was a fabulous win by the boys.
Big win.
You did it in great style. I mean, that's a massive win. So you've known a long way out, but we can see here, just as the siren's about to go, just really the emotion. The game was at Eastern Oval, which, considering the weather we've been dealing with, that ground is in fantastic condition.
It's did really, really well, considering they played every single final there over the last couple of weeks, and that was reserves, seniors and the 18s, and come up a treat. It was really good, good ground.
Could have been a bigger win too, because there was a little bit of bad footy, but in the end it was quite comfortable. 13-21, 99 defeating Sunbury. 5-14-44. The better players on the day?
I think Jaden Trousdale, Daniel Burt. Oh, there's the best there. But yeah, they were guns. Who else got a best on ground?
The other guy that got a best on ground was Bolts, and he played really well off a half-back flank. So yeah, set us up from the defence.
Damien Cupido we had as a guest earlier in the year. How many did the big man kick?
A couple of goals, I think. He got a couple of goals. Yeah.
Was that your first grand final, Daniel? And
yeah.
First premiership.
That was our first final series, mate.
Yeah.
So
never.
14 years. I think they've been
14
waiting.
years. I think it was 2009. Might have been the last one.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was something like that.
What does it mean to a small country town who has obviously not tasted premiership success for a period of time? But no doubt there's a great feeling within Bacchus Marsh right now.
Oh, look for the whole town and for the whole community. It was just amazing. The boys played really well all year, and Trav got us playing together, and Cam over the last couple of years as coach has set us up in a really good spot, and off we go. We win a premiership.
There's just no shortage at Bacchus Marsh of people just helping out, so it was pretty good to them get rewards, and they're just good to you all the time. So
let's have a look at the run through the finals, because you had to work your way through it, obviously, but they were pretty convincing wins. The Lakers you knocked over in the qualifying final, obviously. Then you played Sunbury, you had a nice win against them by 8 goals, but we've seen this happen plenty of times. I know you've won those two quite easily, and you've beaten the other grand final, Sunbury, by 8 goals in the semi. But going through the grand final, you certainly wouldn't be... we see teams get knocked over that go in undefeated in some cases. So no complacency from the club.
Yeah, look, there certainly was no complacency, and the week off did us so well.
That helped.
Yeah.
Lake Wendouree are an interesting side. They've been a very powerful team up and around the Ballarat League, and to be able to get there without them, and for a town, as you said before, like Bacchus Marsh, you must be extremely proud. And what has actually been the week that's happened? I know obviously we've had a couple of beers over the last few days, but have you got B&Fs and that type of thing coming up?
Yeah, we do. We've got a presentation night coming up over the next couple of weeks, and it's just been something that's been amazing to share with the whole town. Even Mad Monday wasn't just 20 blokes sitting around in a pub. It was over 100 people, men, women and children at the footy club on a Mad Monday.
Cam, you were the captain coach for the last couple of years, I think. This year you relinquished the reins and brought young Trav in, who's got in the premiership. What about your journey? Because you're at North Melbourne, you were drafted quite highly too. I think you were high pick, 17 from memory.
34 or something along those lines.
Okay, well, that's all blame the producers down the back. I said 17. Here's a picture of you with Burma. How old would you be there? You look very young.
I think 23, 24, but yeah, my journey at North Melbourne was, I got pretty lucky getting the 3-year contract straight up. Played VFL before that and played some AFL in my first year, and the next 2 years just didn't get the body right and fitness right. I had a bit of chronic fatigue, that type of thing, just the fatigue issues. And so just once I knew I was on the way out in my last year, North Melbourne were awesome for me. You know, paying me while I'm not really doing much.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah, it is. It helped me. And then I went to Bacchus Marsh, and that club's been fantastic. They've you're meant to be the coach and look after the players, but I think they looked after me and got me a premiership this year. So it's been fantastic.
That's fantastic. Daniel, your career, 244 games, you're a bit of a club legend, obviously, down there. To get these guys in, and you brought Damien Cupido in this year, as we mentioned, a new coach. Cam's still playing and making a real contribution. Tell us about your journey through the competition. You were saying off camera before you played on Isaac Smith back in the day.
Yeah, that's going back a little while when he was at Redan. But look, my journey has been been a long time at the club, and I wouldn't play anywhere else. We've had many weeks where we were getting beaten by 100, 150, and this was actually my first final series. So. Straight through to the granny and a win. What can you say?
Did you think your career would not result in finals and possibly a grand final and a premiership?
Look, you always hope, and you always wish that you're going to get there. But to be perfectly honest, it was getting to the stage where I'm 31 now. It depends how the body goes, and to get there with the club, I always knew they would. But whether I was going to be a part of it or not, it was pretty special that it was.
Just hang in there. That's the thing. Keep the body in good nick, so you get the opportunity when the team's good. Now the Dogs. The Western Bulldogs got a massive game tomorrow afternoon. One of their favourite sons is Doug Hawkins. Now, tell us about his role at the footy club. He's been around that football club a hell of a long time, Doug. And we see here, tell us about this game. There's Favola in the background.
Yeah, that was the old Fev game, and that was one of the biggest crowds we played in front of. I think he got 6,000 or 7,000 down there to watch the old Fev play, and that was against Sunbury, funnily enough, as well. What does Doug mean to the place? Look, Doug is an amazing bloke. He gives everything for that club. He's there for every training session. He hardly misses a night. When he coaches for that senior year, he's the type of bloke that when he talks, you listen, and you'd run through an absolute brick wall for the bloke.
Yeah, it's interesting. And he now coaches the juniors, and he's been coaching juniors on and off. That was a senior year when he coached, but he's actually had some good young players that have come out of his system to the Western Jets, to the AFL. And I think Liam Duggan's one that comes to mind.
Duggan's come through, and
he Rainbow.
Yeah, he's another one that's looking that way. Brendan Payne down at, I think he's at St Kilda. So, look, Doug certainly been able to pass on his knowledge to those boys, and mate, we're very lucky to have a bloke like that around.
Yeah, absolutely. He passed on a bit of knowledge and a hell of a nice guy to go with it, and has time for everybody, Dougie. Well, back-to-back's the opportunity for the U Blokes next year. I mean, how do you think your attention to players, I guess that's probably one of the main things, is trying to keep all the blokes you've got, as well as bringing some new guys. Can you keep them all?
Well, we've got a good ratio of local boys, which is handy with the new point system coming in to local footy, so that you can't just go out and recruit a lot of VFL players. And so that's going to work in our favour. I think the club will be up in around top 4 for a while.
It also helps if you've got the juniors. If Tuggy's getting the good ones coming through, if they don't go off and play go in the AFL or whatever it may be, you can keep them in the area. That's going to make it easy to retain as well.
Yeah, and that's right. They're only, if they're from your local club originally, I think it's 1 or 2 points. So they'll work in their favour.
Well, 42 years, it's been a long wait, but you've now got the cup to sit back, relax and enjoy. As a small token of our appreciation, not that you really need this though, we're going to give you, what are we going to give, Pickers?
Well,
because you can head to the Denny Ute
double
Muster.
pass.
September 30, October 1, just 2 of you, so good luck deciding as to who goes. If you'd like to find out what's happening up there involving Keith Urban, who's going to be playing, dennyutemuster.com.au to get your tickets and all the information there. So congratulations, you can go up there, have a quiet time.
Absolutely, grand final. Well done, boys.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations to you and the club, everybody involved. Well done. Sit back, relax and enjoy it. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Ros Ladigan, Country Footy's First Lady, and she will take you through some grand final results from the weekend just gone. A little bit later on, we're also going to preview some more grand finals to be played this coming weekend right around Country Vic off the bench, with more coming up next. Welcome back to Off the Bench, proudly brought to you by GRV. Make sure you get your tab bets on for this Saturday night's final of Greyhound Racing's Shepparton Cup. OK, time now to head around the state as we welcome Country Footy's First Lady, Ros Ladigan, back to the program. Ros, welcome to you. Thanks for joining us again.
Great to be here. There was 17 grand finals in the country on the weekend, and strap yourself in because I'm going to go through every single one of them.
Of course you are.
We're going to start off in the Ovens and Murray Football League, where Albury were winners by 40 points over Lavington in the grand final. Now, the margin wasn't as great as I thought it might have been, Pickers, in this one, but Albury still did it pretty easily in the end. Lavington Oval, where the game was played, was absolutely soaked. It rained most of the day and it was very heavy underfoot, so the footy was hard to get and even harder to hold on to by the looks of things. But as I said, the Tigers still managed to get the job done by 40 points, so that's a premiership three-peat.
How did Cozzy go after Pickers said he needed to kick 9 to win?
Not flash, didn't get his hands on the footy too much, and in fact Lavington only kicked 4 goals for the day, so he didn't get amongst it. Josh Mellington was the best of the goal kickers on the day. He kicked 3 for Albury. Now, he's won 2 flags in as many years at different clubs. Of course, he played in Benalla's drought-breaking flag in the GV League last year. Daniel Cross was best on ground. He got the Did Simpson medal, and it was Albury's 6th flag in 8 years. But the big story on Grand Final Day, Pickers, was actually the crowd in the Ovens Murray League. Normally renowned of a crowd for about 8 to 10, maybe even 15,000 some years. They had 4,175.
That is a really disappointing crowd. Now, the game, was it at Lavington?
It was Lavington,
So
yes.
Lavington had the home ground.
Yeah.
Still weren't able to get the job because the other team are better.
Yeah.
That's the reality. Cozzy didn't fire.
Yeah, that's right. And look, the reality of the situation is that crowd figure had a lot to do with the fact that everyone knew Albury was going to win it by how far.
Yeah, there's no doubt. But and Daniel Cross, he had an unbelievable season. Like Cross, anyone that knows Daniel Cross knows that he works his absolute backside off every time. But he was averaging something like 45 touches a game.
Yeah, incredible season and an incredible year for Albury Footy Club. Like, it's hard to, some people have a lot against them, obviously, because they win so easily, but they've put a side together that is better than everyone else. So congratulations to Albury on another grand final win.
Yeah, well done to them.
We're going to head down to the southwest of the state and head into the Geelong Football League, where a mammoth 6-1 final quarter propelled Leopold to its first ever Geelong Footy League premiership. They were minor premiers and they lost just one game for the year, but the Lions were 12 points down at half-time on Saturday and they looked pretty flat. But they got their noses ahead by about 6 points at three-quarter time, I think it was, and then they ran over the Saints in a landslide at fourth quarter. Small forward Brendan Howarth put on a stunning display, 6 goals, including 3 in that final term. 18-year-old Logan Wagner kicked 2, and the Lions captain Jai Thompson was best on ground, got the medal there. Now, Leopold joined the Geelong Footy League back in 1992, and before Saturday, their most recent flag win was 1990 in the Ballarat League, so back when Collingwood won a flag.
No, it's going back a long time.
We're stretching, and Leopold is the home club of Luke Dalhouse, so with any luck, Leopold's flag might be a good omen for tomorrow night for the doggies.
And it is a very, very strong competition.
The strongest in Victoria. In Victoria, not just in country football.
Yeah, okay. So they play the game at Cat Park down at Skilled.
Simmons.
It's Simmons now.
Whatever it's called today.
It's down at Geelong. But they played at Geelong's ground. Did they get a decent crowd? Because it's hard to tell. Like a 5,000 or 10,000 crowd at a big ground, a big venue like that looks a bit bare. Yeah,
that's right. Decent crowd it was, but weather affected. There was very windy, of course, with the stand missing at Geelong at the moment. It is. So it was a very wind and weather affected game. But yeah, always a good crowd at the GFL Grand Final. All
right, what about up my way, the Velden District Football League? What happened there?
It is your part of the world, and it was certainly the most dramatic end to a country footy season in 2016. Diggers Rest claiming their first flag since 1993 in extra time on Sunday. Now, they'd lost the past 3, as you'd remember, Swatter.
Yeah.
So the Boroughs were once again in real strife when Riddle led by 13 points in time on in the last quarter. So they were really up against it. Mick Kilty, he got yellow carded in the 3rd term.
Oh, boy.
Sat off most of the 4th quarter and then came back on, kicked 2 very late goals and got them over what they thought was over the line.
Yeah,
they thought they were a point ahead when the siren went. As it turned out, the scores were level, so they did have to go to extra time. But in the end, as you can see, Diggers Rest got the job done by 6 points. Couple of names you might know in there.
Well, Brent Tucky, who played at Collingwood, he kicked 3 goals.
And where's he from?
He's from Stawell.
Yes, I thought he might be.
Probably the best footballer to come out of that area, I would have thought.
Wouldn't have thought so.
Taylor Hine was best on ground. He played at North Melbourne and the Suns, I think.
He was a
Suns
player. And
yeah.
Cale Morton, of course, who was at Melbourne. And did he go to West Coast or
He did.
Fremantle?
Yep, West Coast.
West Coast, he did too.
There you go. So that was real sort of monkey off the back stuff for Diggers. As I said, their last flag was in 1993 and they lost 6 grand finals since then. So finally they get one.
You'd reckon they would have celebrated.
Did you get down there, Swatter? It's in your hood.
I didn't.
I mean,
I was coming back from doing the Sydney Swans win on the weekend.
I was going to say because there's rhyming slang, of course, about you.
Yeah, right.
You're a Diggers Rest.
Oh, right. What's that mean?
A pest.
Okay, thank you. Moving right along. See what I have to work with on a Friday night. Might advertise for a new co-host next week, next year. Carry on, Ross.
Yes, we'll head down into my part of the world now, Gippsland.
Again.
In the Mid-Gippsland League Grand Final, it was Newborough over Yallourn North. After claiming the minor premiership, then losing the second semi, Newborough made no mistake on Saturday. They toppled Yallourn North by 41 points. The Dogs were actually down by 2 points at half-time, but they went on to kick 7-9 in the second half and held Yallourn North goalless in the second half. So that'd do it. Yallourn North kicked just the 8 behinds in the second half. So Liam Carolyn kicked 4 goals for the Dogs. Adam Kennedy was superb at full back to win the Bill McConville medal, and Thomas Wilson won the AFL Vic Country medal. So a couple of best on ground medals there.
It was
Newborough's first flag, Dean McDonald. It was Newborough's first flag since the 2002-2003 back-to-back wins. But the Bombers' premiership drought will extend out to at least 21 years. They lost last year's grand final as well and haven't won a flag since 1996. So that's another heartbreaker for the Bombers there.
All right, Ros, that's great. But we have another 13 grand final results that you are going to take
Yes, we are. Right.
Now. So take it away, Ros.
Okay, well, we won't dwell on them too much, but Bacchus, Marsh, obviously, we said earlier. Central Murray, Kerrang, that's now 5 in a row for the Blues. Their co-coach Troy Coates kicked 6 goals in the win in a best-on-ground performance, including 3 in the first quarter. The game was all but over by quarter time when the Blues had a 5-goal lead. In the Ellinbank and District League, it was Cora, Lynn, so that's 3 on the trot for the Cobras.
Got their coach coming up later on.
Nagambie 18-point winners over Avenel. They'll be very happy after finishing first, then going out in straight sets last year. Navarre, the Grasshoppers, 4 in a row in the Maryborough Castlemaine League, beating Carisbrook again in the Minnanera and District League. Tattyoon, easy winners over Wycliffe Lake Bolac.
Well done to the Taddy. These are both my hood. Josh Fraser played really well for them.
Kicked 8 goals, 6 in the 90-point win. In the Murray Football League, it was Nathalia. Talk about a heartbreaker. Finley was on track for its first flag since 1988. They led by 14 points at three-quarter time and went down. Charlton, after losing 3 grand finals in a row, they finally got the chocolates in the North Central, and a three-peat for the Stone Cats in the Peninsula Football League. Next, South East Football League. Cranbourne over Berwick. Owen United in its first year in the Sunraysia Footy League after moving from the Mallee League, which is now wound up. They got the job done over Mildura. Mildura now haven't won a flag since 2007. Western Border, North Gambia over South Gambia, the crosstown rivals. And in the Yarra Rangers Division 2, Gembrook Cockatoo came from 3rd to pinch the flag from minor premiers Kinglake.
To pinch the flag, they did it pretty easily in the end.
They
7 goals.
Kinglake were the hot favourites, but couldn't get the job done when it mattered.
We might take a break and get the oxygen on the set because that's a great effort, Ros. You worked your way through 17, was it?
17.
Yeah. Guess what? We've got some previews coming up your way too very shortly. Some more grand finals to be played, plus a little bit of an update with regards to some GRV news. Ros, Piggers and Swatter off the bench with some grand final previews coming up this weekend across country Victoria. Back with more after this. Welcome back to the show, brought to you by GRV. Make sure you get your tab bets on for this Saturday night's final of Greyhound Racing's Shepparton Cup. Ros Lunningham, Lynn Pickering, Wayne Swass. Well, the results from last week are behind us, Ros, but there are some big games to be played this weekend in Country Vic.
Another 6 grand finals this weekend, and that will wrap up the country footy season. We'll start in the Hampton Football League, where Cora won its way through to a 4th consecutive Hampton League grand final with a 5-point triumph over Port Fairy on the weekend. The Fairies, or I should say the Seagulls, held an 11-point advantage at quarter time. It should have been more. They kicked a wasteful 2-5 with the wind in that first quarter. In reply, Cora booted 4 unanswered goals to go into half-time with a 17-point buffer, and they went on with it from there. Ben Goodall, Will Couch and Isaac Templeton kicked 2 each for the Saints, and Dallas Mooney was best of field. So, tomorrow is the grand final, and it will be North Warrnambool Eagles in their first ever Hampton Football League grand final.
Just get it done, boys.
We hope so. First grand final appearance since they joined the league in 1997. They've obviously got the week off. They've had the rest. Cora is going for a premiership hat-trick, and their coach, Adam Dowie, has going to have his work cut out. They've got a few coming back from injury.
Hang on.
You can tell Adam Dowie, who I know, that the Spud Farmers ain't going to celebrate this weekend. The Eagles are coming, son.
Swatto, I want you to barrel down the camera and just go, right, give us some words for your North Warrnambool.
Just win.
Eagles.
That's it. Just get it done. They're Spud Farmers. We don't want them coming into town on the bus with their Spud bags, ripping the joint apart. Get it done. No, good luck to the Eagles.
Very conservative. All right, we'll move on to the Bendigo Football League preliminary final, which was Golden Square beating Eaglehawk by 19 points. So Golden Square will line up in its 10th Bendigo League grand final in 16 years. Eaglehawk was ahead by 16 points at three-quarter time, but the Bulldogs had the wind advantage in the final term, and they used it to their best advantage. They booted 5-6 in that final quarter to the two Blues, one behind, to win by 19 points. Co-captain Jack Geary was instrumental in the second half. He kept the Dogs in the game during that third quarter and then kicked the sealer in the last. So a brilliant individual performance from Jack, and Golden Square will need plenty more of that tomorrow. Now, these two were the best two teams all year. Sandhurst finished minor premiers, a game clear of the Dogs. They've played 3 times this year. Sandhurst won them all. Sandhurst's last flag was back in 2004, so it's been a while between drinks for them. Golden Squares was in 2013, which was the 5th year of their 5 consecutive flags for the Dogs. So Sandhurst, I think, should get the job done.
What did Strathfield say this year?
Yeah, they're out, unfortunately. And look, they'd won 2 in a row, so it's probably good to see the wheel turn. And although, can you say that if Golden Square's playing in another grand final 10 in 16 years, would suggest that they've been the dominant side there for a long time. Again, to my part of the world, Gippsland Football League, and it is my hometown, Maffra, that will take on Leongatha in the grand final. But Leongatha, a very easy win over Traralgon, 8 goals, 54 points on Traralgon's home deck in the preliminary final last Saturday. Now, after losing their first game of the season in the second semi to Maffra, the Parrots were very quick out of the blocks on Saturday and were ahead by a couple of goals at quarter time against the side that beat them in last year's grand final. They extended their lead at every change. They'd certainly come to play. They didn't want to go out in straight sets. Chris Dunn kicked 4 goals in the win. Pat McGrath and Kane Maskell added 2 each. Here we go, Maffra versus Leongatha in the big dance at Moe tomorrow. Sam Fleming, former Port Melbourne player and Maffra boy, kicked 4 goals in the semis for Maffra, so the Parrots will want to stop him pretty quickly tomorrow, I'd imagine. Bo Vernon, of course, is the coach of Leongatha, the young man who became a quadriplegic a few years ago in a football game playing for Leongatha. He coached them last year and they lost the grand final to Traralgon, so best of luck to Bo and the Parrots tomorrow. And I do actually genuinely mean that. I would not be disappointed to see the Parrots get up and win a flag.
Good.
I find that hard to believe.
Yep, so do I. We're on the Parrots.
You're so Maffra.
Yep.
I'll be staggered if you actually believe that.
No, I'll be there, so I'll be very keen to see how it all plays out. In the Goulburn Valley Football League, this is the Sunday grand final, the last country grand final of the year. Rochester defeated Benalla in the preliminary final. 2008 Marsh medalist Farron Priest. He kicked 3 goals, but it wasn't enough to get the Saints over the line and into a 3rd consecutive grand final. Rochi led at every change in this one, but it really took until the 3rd quarter for the Tigers to finally put Benalla to bed. Rochi finished with 9 goals, 14 though, and that's worth noting because 9-14 is not going to win you a premiership. They're going to have to straighten up ahead of Sunday, so hopefully they've done plenty of goal kicking practice this week. Kyabram versus Rochester in the big dance on Sunday. They were the best 2 sides all year. Kyabram finished 3 games clear at the top of the table, so they will go in hot favourites. Beat Rochi by twice this year, I should say. Kai Abram's last flag was in 2013 and they lost last year to Benalla in the decider. Rochester's last flag was 2008. It'd have to be Kai Abram, you would think on
so.
Sunday.
She starts off really, really high with a strong pace, but as we work our way through 17 results and then about 28 grand final games this week, you're just about on your last breath, Ros. We haven't done with you yet because we've got 2 more grand finals to preview.
Yes, we do, and I should just find them. That's in the Ballarat Football League, and it's Gold versus Bamble. Of course, I went up to Bamble. They'd won 23 games in a row. I went up to training, and they got beaten by point by Gold in the second semi. So fair to say they don't like me anymore. I don't think they'll lose again tomorrow. They have been the form side all year and some of last year. So Bamble to win 3 in a row. And in the Yarra Rangers Division 1 grand final will be Alinda Ferny Creek versus Healesville. The Bloods versus the Bloods. So there's not many teams called the Bloods, but both of them are there. Alinda Ferny Creek's last flag was in 2009. Healesville's in 2013. And interesting, those flags were both in Division 2 before they were promoted to Division 1. So both chasing their first Division 1 flag.
Well done, Ros. That's a really good effort. Before we let you go, though, a little bit of GRV news. The Shep Cup is tomorrow night.
Yeah, big race. Group 2 Shepparton Cup. An exciting greyhound I want you to keep an eye on, Pickers, called Bears Gold, and he is trained by Keith Helmuth, and he is out to capture his first group race when he runs in the Cup, Bears Gold. He's won 15 races from just 22 starts, including 5 from 7, I should say, at Shepparton, and should be a good each-way bet, I reckon, for tomorrow night. You can go to grv.org.au for the best free form guides for tomorrow night's races.
Well done, Ros. Certainly earned your pay this week. Thanks very much. We're going to have you back again next week for our grand final show, which will be an hour long. You can get involved via social media. So if you go to any of those grand finals that Ros previewed over the weekend, get your phone out, take a snap, Facebook, Twitter, send them in. And if we've got time next week, we might show some of those photos that you send from some games or a game across the weekend. Well done, Ros. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a rest. Take a breath. We'll see you back same time next week. We've got to take a break. When we come back, a great feature story coming up, and then the William Hill odds. I'll get Pickers' thoughts between the big game tomorrow in Sydney. The Giants taking on the Bulldogs. It'll be history either way for a spot in the grand final. Off the bench with more coming up next. Welcome back to Off the Bench, proudly brought to you by GRV. Make sure you get your tap bets on for this Saturday night's final of Greyhound Racing's Shepparton Cup. If you're in the area, get down for some great racing down there at the Shepparton Cup. Hey, Pickers, ever been involved in a three-peat? 3 grand final wins in a row?
No, I haven't, Swatter. Unfortunately, I'd love to have said yes, but no, I haven't.
Well, one club has done that for the last 3 years, and that's the Corin Football Club, and it's a great pleasure to have their coach, playing coach, I should say, David Mann, along tonight. David, congratulations, 3 in a row. Well done.
Yeah, thanks guys. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's unbelievable.
Now, we'll get into the serious stuff, but there's meant to be 2 of you. A man by the name of Jack Allen was locked in to join us, but he's MIA. Why? Where? How?
He's had a big couple of days and the poor bloke's got no voice left. He can't talk.
So he's pulled out today. Here is the Mad Monday celebrations. Now, Maney, tell us, where's this at? Where are we looking at here? You're all dressed up like peanuts.
Yeah, so here, this is actually Jack's pub, the 3 Crowns in North Melbourne. We catch a bus in for the day and it's basically a lock-in.
Is that in there with the curly wig, with that wig on, that sort of like Gene Simmons type setup?
Yeah, that's Jack there. What's the guy from Guns N' Roses?
Axl Rose.
The other one, Slash.
Slash.
That's Jackie boy.
So how'd you enjoy it, mate, the day? Let's go back to the actual grand final. I'm not talking about the Mad Monday. We know you would have enjoyed that. No problems. Talk about the game, because 23 points wasn't exactly a runaway win, if we have a look here, but tell us about your memories of the day.
I remember getting to the ground and it was good. The guys were calm and relaxed. They felt relaxed. Young guys, everyone's nervous. For me as a coach, knowing that they're feeling like that, I knew I was feeling like that. That we're in best shape we could. As for a game of itself, it was an unbelievable game. Like Bunyip were, they really challenged us all day, and a lot of the time of the day we're in control of the game or in front. And it came down to the last quarter, and the boys just dug deep and found a way. They did.
Best on the ground was Justin McCleary. Tell us about some of the other boys that were major contributors on the day.
Yeah, Brady White played on at half back. He had a fantastic game, as did Ryan Gillis. he kicked a goal, snapped over his left shoulder. That at that point in the last quarter was pretty much the bit where we knew that we might have this game won.
This must be a great feeling. I mean, Swallow, I never played in an AFL premiership. You didn't. You did, Swallow. Yeah, but that part there, that when you get the boys together, that must be a wonderful feeling.
Oh, it's amazing. It's the best feeling you can have, and we're fortunate that out of that group from Saturday, there's 12 of us that have been in all three. So we had 9 changes in the side from this year's grand final team. So with that was a couple of new recruits and also junior players or reserve players from previous years.
Well, we couldn't have Jack join us tonight, so what we thought we'd do is replay the last few moments because fittingly he's retiring and the ball ends up in his hands. It couldn't have been scripted any better.
Real.
Yeah, no, he deserves everything he gets, Jack. He's had a horror run with injuries over his career and he's just been an absolute great player for Cora, Lynn and for our local district.
Tell us about your coaching style. This is your first year as coach. You're on a bit of a hiding to nothing. 2 premierships in a row and you take over. But was it extra special for you, firstly, to actually, I know you played in them, but to actually be the playing coach?
Oh, absolutely. And when that siren goes, it still gives you like goosebumps. It's just the amount of relief you get when you know the job's, it's come off. The plan's gone. Everything's gone to plan. We've got it done. As a coach, it was just an unbelievable feeling.
Well, there was a game after you defeated the Warragul Industrials that you gave a stirring post-game speech which may have got the season back on track. Let's have a listen to how that all played out.
There's something about each and every one of you blokes and our reserves and our thirds and our supporters, our committee, everyone that's involved with this place. It means so much and I'm so proud of everyone because what we were able to achieve today wasn't just 21 blokes. But I'll tell you what I did get out of it was when everyone contributes their little bit, that's what happens. Backs against the wall, a couple of goals down at half time, get challenged, and what we do, we found a way. We stepped up to the plate, and that's what Corin's known for, and that's what Corin did tonight.
Yeah, nicely done. Muddy day too, by the sounds of that. By the look of that one.
Yeah, it was a pretty wet patch that night. We'd just come off the week before. Bunyip was last year's rematch grand final, and they actually outplayed us all over the ground and bet us by about 60 points. So, as a coach going into that game, I knew that we had a big game and we had to stand up and win. Again, that for me was the moment again during the year to say, hey, we can go places again. Absolutely.
It was as I say, a special night, that one. It was a very nice speech too. Did you know the cameras were on you?
Nah, I had no idea. Nah, it's just technology today. There's always something floating around.
You don't want to get caught in that technology, old mate. You mentioned in that speech, which was really interesting, that the whole club. It's a whole club thing, isn't it? When it's not just premierships aren't won by the 21 or 22 blokes on the day, but they're won by the contributors around the whole club. Yeah,
absolutely. And for us, we're a club with no town, but we have people that come there to be a part of it, and that whether that's playing, running the canteen, mowing the lawn, handing out records, whatever it is, and it's just fantastic that they all get to share in this success with us.
Yeah, the collective sum of everything. We did a feature story on your footy club a couple of years ago. This is the last 3 years. Reads well. 3 in a row. Comfortable wins 14, 15, and then a hard-fought win on the weekend against Bunyip.
I want to ask you this, Swatter. See the team they've beaten the last 2 grand finals, Bunyip.
Yeah.
Who's the most famous guy from Bunyip playing AFL at the moment?
I wouldn't have any idea.
You've got no idea. The sausage eater from Bunyip.
Shane Mumford.
He's from... And where
is he from Bunyip?
Where do you reckon Maney plays? Ruck.
Right.
How do you reckon you'd go with Big Mummy? He comes back after eating 4,000 sausages and playing a massive role in the final series. We've got a huge game tomorrow. How do you reckon you'd come up against the Big Mummy?
Oh, no, he'd eat me, I reckon. I'm glad the Giants have got him stitched up for a few more.
Yeah, he's a big man. He's got a big game tomorrow against the Western Bulldogs. Now, you move into a new league next year, so tell us about that.
Yeah, we're moving into, there's about 4 or 5 clubs from Ellinbank, including us, and 4 from the Velden and Footy League that are merging to create the new, I think it's West Gippsland League. Yep. So that's Phillip Island, Kilcunda Bass, ourselves, Garfield, Bunyip, and it's going to be a ripping comp, no doubt. Phillip Island have been strong previous years in the Alberton, and same with Killy Bass, and then you throw the likes of Bunyip, us, Kuira.
It should be strong. It should be a strong league. You might need to recruit a bit. I know you've won the last 3 in that competition, but it sounds like you might have to step up again.
Yeah, absolutely, and and we'll go over our playing group next sort of week and a bit, and we've obviously got a couple of retirees and a few extra guys that possibly looking to come to the club, but it's going to be a fantastic competition.
You'll go again as the coach. You're not going to give up the reins now. You just look like a natural.
Yeah, no, definitely going again, 100%. So really looking forward to it. Yeah.
Well, it's a great effort, 3 in a row. Congratulations to you, to the club, to everybody involved, and let's hope that you cite Jack Allen some stage very soon.
Come on, Jacko.
Thanks for coming in. And as a small token for making the effort to come in tonight, David, you're going home with a $100 worth of St Goliath clothing. Bad luck, Jack. That's what you would have got if you had turned up tonight.
Bad luck, Jack.
Combining streetwear trends with easy-to-wear style, St Goliath is available at Myer and Edge clothing stores nationally. Thanks very much and well done again.
Too easy. Thanks, guys.
There you go. David Main from the Corin Footy Club at 3 in a row. It's a great effort. When we come back, there's still plenty more in the show. Off the bench with more after this. Welcome back to the program. Well, we've had some great feature stories through the course of the year, and we have another one because the Charlton Football Club have lost the last 3 grand finals that they have played in. They were in another one, 4th in a row. Let's have a look to see how it turned out this year.
And tonight, the small town of Charlton, northwest of Bendigo, is bracing for major flooding. Dozens of residents have been urged to leave their homes. Laurel Irving is there this evening. And Laurel, what's the situation now?
Mitch, you can see behind me it's already at major flood levels here in Charlton. The Avoca River is also still rising.
They've had a tough week at Charlton this week with not knowing what was going to happen with the rains we've had, and a lot of places have had 80-odd mil of rain, and that rain coming from through that Avoca River.
5 or 6 years ago we had some major floods go through Charlton, and so when the river kept rising this time, it got it fairly nervous, and people are very anxious, of course.
Charlton on Thursday night, the power was off. They thought it was going to come back about 6:30 and they were going to get their training over and done with. But no, that wasn't to be. The power didn't come on. So all of a sudden, all the cars got together, put the headlights on, and they trained under the car headlights. So Witchy-Poof, they travelled from Bendigo to train on Thursday night, and the same thing applied.
The whole Mallee and the north central area has been suffering through droughts and floods and mice plagues and locusts. So we've had everything the Bible can throw at us except the good stuff. But we're pretty resilient people and enjoy our footy.
We had to put some contingency plans in place just in case things did go pear-shaped. And fortunately, we've got a brilliant day here today, and it's everything's turned out all right, and I don't think too many got their feet wet. So no, I think it's been fantastic.
We've had some good grand finals over the time. We've won some, they've won some, but we really respect them as a club. They're our closest neighbours, and we get on with them pretty well. We'll have a beer after the game with them tonight, win or lose, and enjoy their company. But it is a fierce rivalry for that 2 hours on the ground because we're such close neighbours. A lot of people working, Charlton people working Witchy and Witchy people working Charlton.
Well, I think it's going to be a tight tussle, most finals are, so I don't think it'll be a high scoring game, high pressure game, and maybe to kick 10 goals, that could be plenty, you might win the game.
The day that everyone in the North Central really looks to do. They like to get out and be involved in the country day or the family day of sport, and everyone, you just about rob the town when you're playing away because everyone goes. It's just magic.
Probably relief more than anything. Like here 4 years in a row sort of now, so to finally get one, it's one of those relief off the shoulders and just excitement now, and just can't wait to celebrate tonight.
I think anyone who can get up for 4 grand finals in a row has done a fantastic effort, and when you're losing so narrowly in a couple of those finals, you always think the next step's there, and Charlton have obviously done that, and the loyalty of the players that have stuck with them, I think has been very good to them, and that's why they're in the position they are.
Town's been through a fair bit. We've had 2 or 3 dry years now, and now all of a sudden we've got a flood, so one or the other, and they'd rather be here today than being at home, so it's giving them a bit of hope and a bit of, I guess, community spirit.
With everyone working together, that's the way we get it done in the North Central, and when the whistle blows and I get a bit of this paperwork done, I dare say I'll stick the boots up and knock the head off a couple. So.
Oh boy.
Couldn't have said it any better. Well done to the Blues. A great effort there. Their first flag having lost the last 3. What about that bit of vision with the floods affecting the town and then the cars? The call went out, the cars went around the oval and they trained under the car.
That was their main training session before the grand final. So it was a fabulous performance. Well done. It's been really wet. We know that up and around the area. So well done to everyone involved with the Charlton Footy Club. Well deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. So a great effort to that particular town. Good job. A newer segment. We love having Hotondo Homes in part of our program, Pickers, and we appreciate their support. Our goal of the week in country footy, Hotondo Homes. Build your dream home today. It's over to you.
It is indeed. And this week's winner was Ryan Herring from Golden Square, who kicked an important goal against Eaglehawk last week. We'll have a look at this. We did have a look at it earlier, actually. But he's got there under a bit of pressure.
Weave, handball.
Got the handball back. They've mucked around with it a bit. Really stuffed around.
Oh, dear.
And it's taken forever to get this goal out, actually kick it. But a lot of pressure. And in the end, this put them back in front, if you can believe it. So they couldn't get the ball out, the Eaglehawk boys. And in the end, well done, Ryan Herring, who played a bit of footy over in the Waffle and the Sample, I believe. So
what do you reckon his nickname would be?
The fish?
I would have said Red.
Oh, Red. Is Herring a fish?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, well, let's call him Red.
All right.
Well done, Red.
Well done to Ryan. We're going to take a break, and thanks very much to our great friends at Hotondo Homes. Build your dream home today. Visit hotondo.com.au. When we come back, we've got the William Hill odds and then the tip from Pickers. The Giants take on the Bulldogs. History either way. The first grand final appearance for the Giants or the first for 62 years for the Bulldogs. We'll do that when we come back. It's our favourite part of the show, the Celebrate at the Country Races wheel, with lots of goodies to be won each and every week. And the major prize, a $2,500 marquee package at the Kilmore Cup later this year, and that'll be drawn on our Grand Final Eve show. But we need contestants in order to spin the wheel each and every week, so get your entry in, and all the information about celebrating at the country races at countryracing.com.au.
Yes, and we're playing this week for Joyce Boccabella from Kyalla. And good luck to you as we give it a good spin.
Come on, Pix.
Come on, Joyce. We're a chance. No.
CRV apparel, vest, jacket, polo cap. You look absolutely beautiful in that, Joyce. Now, all of our winners, Pickers, come back in our grand final show next week, and they will all go into the running for the major prize of $2,500 marquee at the Kilmore Cup. So that on our grand final show. Time now to jump straight into the odds, thanks to William Hill Online Racing and Sports Betting. William Hill, faster, easier betting. Picks, the big one tomorrow in Sydney.
Oh, it's a massive game. The line 15.5. I give the Dogs a strong chance. I think they can win.
Yep.
I'm going the underdog there, the Dogs. This is the premiership odds. Well, they're really on their head at the moment, these things. Anyone could win it, we know that. Well, not anyone. Most people could. A couple of teams,
the premiership Brownlow double.
Without danger. So this the doubles are available from William Hill. GWS Rory Sloan? Yeah, we'll see. That's taken the danger man out because he is unbackable at about $1.10. So there you go.
Absolutely. So we've got our grand final show coming up next weekend. It's an hour long. We're going to have a host of guests. We've got our winner for the marquee prize picks. What are you looking forward to next week? Brownlow? You'll be at the Brownlow, wouldn't you?
I won't be going to the Brownlow.
You won't be going?
No, a lot of show ponies going there. No, I'll be watching the Brownlow
awards during the week?
Certainly not.
Surprised I didn't see your name. Hey, good luck to all the footy teams playing this weekend. North Warrnambool Eagles kick the Spud Farmers. Good luck. We'll see you next week for our final show of the year.